How is it going, everyone? It's Caleb Lumity here, and today we're going to be talking about Muppet Adventure Chaos at the Carnival, or as I call it, just Muppets Chaos at the Carnival. This is a really cool NES game, and I will say that this game has kind of a bad rap, and I do understand. It's not a perfect game. I'm not even going to say it's a great game, but as a Muppet fan, it's an enjoyable game. That's, I think, the key point to this game. If you are a fan of the Muppets, you'll probably enjoy this game just because it is the Muppets. But it does have some cool ideas to it. It's not a very long game, and it is fairly difficult, and you really have to learn the levels to get good at them. But it's still really cool with, some of the ideas that they came up with. I actually really like how none of the levels are exactly alike. Each one is very different from one another. You start off with this boat level and your Kermit swimming down a river, and you're trying to avoid rocks and stuff like that, and you are trying to pick up these little, I don't know what they are. They look like telescopes, kind of like from a submarine. they look like that popping out of water, and if you pick them up, it will give you your health back. Because you lose health if you hit rocks or something like that, or even if you touch the walls of the river, you lose health. So you have to pick those up to get, your hearts back. And then you can also pick up these little buoy type things, and if you pick those up, it will give you actually a life. It will give you an extra life, which is really nice. And you really are going to need to collect a bunch of those. I would say collect those right off the bat because you are going to need the extra lives in this game. This one can be pretty difficult, and not always just because of its standard difficulty, but sometimes the game will screw you over, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But the actual boat level, it's really fun. I like the boat level. And I'm also going to talk about the bad things when it comes to the boat level. But I will say the bad things, even with the bad things about this game, I actually kind of enjoyed because it was so bad it was funny. There's moments where you can get stuck in these, vortexes in the water, and they'll slam you against the wall. And there's sometimes where it'll just keep slamming you against the wall over and over and over again until you lose all your hearts. And that cracks me up when that happens. I was dying laughing when it happened because it was just, so ridiculous that this game, had these issues still, and it was just released like this. I was still laughing whenever it happened. There's moments where you would just get stuck on a rock and you couldn't get out of the rock, and the screen would just start erroring out, and you'd start hearing the game just start going, because you'd be, taking damage. It would just be, making the noise for you taking damage, but you're constantly taking damage because you're just cornered in between this rock and a wall. So it will make that noise until your character basically loses all his health, and that cracked me up whenever I saw that happen. So this game doesn't frustrate me when I lose. It actually makes me laugh when I lose because I understand that most of the time it's not really, it's just part of the game. That's I kind of understand that it's just kind of part of the game, and you kind of just have to accept it the way it is if you're going to play it. This game is not for everyone. Let me throw that out there right away. This is kind of one of those games where if you like bad video games, you'll probably like this one. A lot of people would consider this bad, and I get it. I 100% get it, but I'm also a fan of the Muppets, so whenever something stupid like that happened, it just kind of reminded me of something I would see in the Muppets anyway. Something stupid I would see happen in the Muppets. So I was just like, you know what? It's fitting for this bug to be left in the game and for it to smack me against the wall over and over again. This seems like something that would happen in the Muppets. So I guess that's what helped me enjoy this game still, even with all its flaws. But then you have that level, and then you have the next level, and the next level, I didn't really have too many issues with the next level in terms of glitches. I had one, and we'll talk about one that was kind of funny. The next one is you are driving down a road, and you're basically trying to collect a bunch of flags, and as you're collecting the flags, you'll get more points and stuff like that, and it's an obstacle course. You're basically just driving and trying to avoid a bunch of, different walls and stuff like that. You're driving a bumper car, and you're dodging oil slicks, and you're dodging bombs that are placed on the road. And every now and then you'll come across these green flags, and if you collect your green flags fast enough, it will actually give you an extra life. So that's nice as well. I'm sorry, it won't give you an extra life. It will actually just give you full health in this one. So that's nice, though, that it does that. So that is the next level. And the funny thing about the oil slicks is that if you go and you slide onto the oil slicks by accident, and you're doing it really slow, though, your character will just freak out and start spinning on the oil spin, and they actually won't go anywhere. They'll just spin in one place, and they won't be able to move. And it just cracked me up because it just seemed like it was stupid, but it's part of the charm of this game, I guess. Part of the stupidity of this game, because it's just it's the Muppets. I expect this game to be stupid. It's okay by me. The next level is actually, I think the next level is actually really cool. The next one, you are actually playing in a shoot 'em up. You are playing as Gonzo in his like spaceship, and you get to like fly around and you shoot a bunch of asteroids that are flying at you. These other aliens start flying at you and attacking you, and you can shoot them. There's these little other smaller UFOs that are flying at you, and it throws a lot at you. You have to be really good at this one to get past it, and you can pick up extra lives in this one. There's like these chickens that are in UFOs for some reason, and if you pick those up, it will give you extra lives. You can also find these diamonds. If you shoot some specific asteroids, a diamond will pop up, and you can pick those up, and it will give you an extra life as well. And you can also pick up these little canisters, and if you pick up these little, they look like oxygen canisters. If you pick those up, it will give you your health back. So that's another one. But I like that they threw in like a shoot 'em up level. I thought that was always cool because I really like shoot 'em up games. I'm just usually not very good at them. And I'm not very good at this one either, but I just like it. And then the very last one, other than, we'll get to the final stage, but the other one, before you get to the final stage, is you play as Fozzie Bear, and you're going through these, I say Pac-Man style mazes, because the way they're laid out, you kind of have to go throughout the maze in certain directions by using the D-pad, so I call it Pac-Man style. And basically the whole point is you're collecting a bow tie, and then you have to collect a box, and then you have to collect another bow tie, and then it will let you leave the level. I don't really know the significance of that, again. I don't know why it picks bow ties or whatever, but it is what it is, you know. That's what they decided to go with. The only problem I have with this game mode, I actually do like it. It is fun because you're trying to go through all these mazes and also avoid these enemies that are chasing you throughout the maze. Even though I like it, it lasts too long. It definitely lasts too long. There's too many. Like, it's not just one level in this specific one. In this one, it's like level after level after level of the mazes, and I think they overdid it a little bit. So that would be my only complaint with that one. But once you actually learn the mechanics of the maze, and you learn that you can get these pickups, and you can actually use these pickups and these power-ups and stuff like that when you're walking around the maze, that's pretty cool. You can pick up, like, this bone, and you can throw it across the map, and then the other, like, little animals will start chasing after the bone, so they'll go away from you while you can pick up the bow, or you can pick up the gift box or whatever, so it will give you something to distract them with. You can also pick up these like little hearts, and if you hit them with the hearts, it will just freeze them so you can walk right past them without taking damage. There is one other weird thing that this does. There's random candy canes that will pop up eventually, and the candy canes can actually do damage to you if they're moving. They can't do damage to you if they're sitting still, but if they're moving, they can hurt you, so that's something else to keep in mind. And then we have the final level. Oh boy, the final level. Okay, so the final level is probably the worst designed level, if I'm being honest. This one is just a side-scrolling platforming level where you play as Kermit doing a really weird stance. I don't know what is up with his stance. And you are basically trying to go through and platform to the end of the level to save Miss Piggy in a boss fight. And you have actually a boss fight before the boss fight, even in this level. And once you actually get to the boss fight before the main boss fight, it is such a pain in the butt, because you have to knock the bad guy off of the platform, and it's so hard to get it just right. Like, you basically have to hope to get lucky to get the bad guy off the platform, and then once you do that, you can go and face the actual boss, who is super easy to beat. The last boss, all you have to do is you have these little hearts as Kermit, and you throw them up in the air, and they'll fall back down, and you basically have to try to get the heart to arch back down onto the bad guy's head, and that's how you basically free Miss Piggy, and that's how you beat the game. And at that point, you beat the game, and you have a very unsatisfying ending. So that's what this game is. Oh, can I recommend this game to the average person? Probably not. But I think if you're a Muppets fan and you just know the humor that the Muppets have, I think you're still probably going to get a kick out of this, just because the glitches and everything that this game has, and even the issues that this game has, it's like slapstick comedy in a way. You know, to me, it's like, okay, this is what the Muppets are. It doesn't surprise me that their game is glitchy and it has these weird quirks in it, because the Muppets, you know, are quirky and weird. So to me, it's not a big deal. I guess it fits the topic. So for me, it doesn't really bother me. This is a pretty cheap game too. I got this for about $10 when I picked it up. So I think that I'm happy with $10, and at the end of the day, you know, I'm happy with what I paid for it. I'm not going to recommend this game. If you're a Muppets fan, maybe think about it, but probably not for the average person, if I'm being honest. But I do enjoy this game. I think it's a lot of fun. And if you are someone who likes bad video games, or if you're a fan of the Muppets, and you go into this knowing that this game is not very good. I think that you'll still be okay with this game, honestly. But thank you guys for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe button down below, and I'll talk to you in the next one. You have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.